This is the Midea 10,000 British thermal units U-shaped smart inverter window air conditioner. It keeps my room genuinely cool while letting the window close down around it, so most of the noise stays outside and my nights are actually quiet. I think of this as a premium window air conditioner for people who care about comfort and low noise, and who want something that sips energy instead of blasting full power all the time. It makes the most sense for bedrooms, apartments, and home offices where a steady temperature and peace of mind matter. I work from home and I am a light sleeper, and this is the first window unit I have used that I can forget about while it is running. The design is what changes the day-to-day experience. That U-shaped cutout lets the window sash slide down in the middle, so the glass creates a physical barrier between the compressor outside and the living space inside. Because of that, the rumble and vibration that usually fill a room are muffled by the window itself. The outer half holds the noisy parts, and the inner half is basically a quiet air handler with a simple front grille and a clean white finish that does not draw attention. It looks like a normal piece of home equipment instead of a clunky box. The chassis feels solid. When I set it in place, it had real weight and did not flex in my hands. The filters are easy to reach from the front, and I can pop them out, rinse them, and slide them back in without tools. Air direction adjusts left and right with a simple louver, which is fine for most spaces, but there is no up and down adjustment. In my room, I nudged the angle to push air across the bed, and it worked, though I wished for a touch more control. One small thing I ran into: my blinds brushed the top edge. I trimmed a little off the bottom slats and now they close, but it is something to keep in mind if your blinds sit low. Getting it set up took patience the first time. I have installed plenty of old-school window air conditioners where you drop them on the sill, pull out the side wings, and call it a day. This one asks for a bit more care, because the support bracket and foam seals do most of the work. I assembled the bracket, leveled it, and locked it to the window frame. I took my time fitting the foam so I would not leave little gaps for warm air to sneak through. That part felt a little fiddly, and the instructions could be clearer with bigger diagrams. Working alone, I spent close to 2 hours from start to finish. The actual slide and moment was surprisingly easy. The rails catch cleanly, and once it is seated, the window almost fully closes and the included lock clamps it down. After that, it feels rock solid. For me, this is a set it once and leave it solution. I would not want to pull it out and reinstall every season. Daily use has been refreshingly simple. The buttons on the front click cleanly. The remote is basic and responds reliably from across the room. I paired it with the Midea application on my phone and with Amazon Alexa in a few minutes. The wireless setup did not make me jump through hoops. From the application, I set a quiet overnight schedule and checked energy usage after a week. I like having that control from the couch, especially when I am half asleep and do not want to get up. Voice control works too. I just ask to turn it on before I leave the gym, and my bedroom is already on its way to cool by the time I get home. Cooling performance is the reason I stuck with it. This has 10,000 British thermal units of capacity, and in my roughly 400 square foot bedroom with a big south-facing window, it keeps a stable temperature without blasting. With the inverter, the compressor ramps up to meet the initial demand, and then settles into a low hum to maintain the set point. That smooth curve means I do not feel those hot and cold swings that used to wake me up. There's a flash cool mode that runs harder at first. When I get home on a swampy afternoon and hit that button, I feel real relief within about 20 minutes, and in around 30 minutes the whole room crosses from muggy to comfortable. It is not a shock to the system like some older units that roar at full tilt, and I prefer this calmer, more steady style. Noise is the standout. Midea quotes as low as 32 decibels. I did not measure it, but side by side with my last window air conditioner, this sounds like a gentle tabletop fan. The compressor thrum lives outside the glass, and inside I hear mostly smooth airflow. There is no rattling, and I do not hear the compressor kicking in and out like a car engine. During calls, the microphone on my laptop does not pick it up unless I turn the fan to the highest setting, and even then it is not distracting. At night, I use sleep mode, which lowers the fan and nudges the temperature gently so I do not wake up cold at 3 in the morning. I fall asleep with a soft whoosh, and that is it. Energy use has been kinder to my utility bill. With the inverter controlling compressor speed, the unit only works as hard as the room actually needs. In my case, the graph in my utility application showed a visible dip compared to the same week with my older fixed-speed air conditioner. Eco mode goes a step further. It uses artificial intelligence to balance fan speed and compressor output based on the room temperature and what I set. It is not flashy, but it does the thinking I usually forget to do when I am cooking or walking the dog. There are some small quirks. The installation demands a calm hour or two and a willingness to read the diagram slowly. The foam ceiling is not hard, but it rewards patience. Airflow adjustment only swings side to side, so if you need to push air up toward a loft bed or down across a desk, you will have to place the unit thoughtfully. The front beep when changing modes is audible but not harsh. On very humid days, I sometimes hear a faint water trickle inside the outdoor section, which is normal condensate moving around, and it does not make a mess on my sill. Also, this design is meant for standard single-hung or double-hung windows. If your place has crank windows or sliders that move sideways in a track, this will not fit. A few real-life scenarios help me trust it. On a Saturday cleaning spree with the oven running and sunlight pouring through, I set it to flash cool while I vacuumed. The room stayed even, and I never had that wave of hot air that some air conditioners create when they cycle. On a breezy spring morning, I slid the window open above the unit to let in fresh air for a few minutes, then closed it and locked it back down. That flexibility is unusual for a window unit, and it genuinely changed how I use the room. During a late-night editing session, I forgot it was on until I stood up and felt the cool air. That is exactly how I want a window air conditioner to behave. One specific use case that sealed it for me is sleep. I set a simple schedule in the application. Cooler in the evening while I read, a small bump warmer around midnight, and a gentle wake-up temperature just before my alarm. The fan stays quiet and consistent. I stopped waking up to that sudden buzz of a compressor kicking in, and my dog stopped reacting to it too. If peace and steady comfort are high on your list, this fits that routine. There are a handful of smart touches that actually matter. The included window lock is sturdy and made me feel better about leaving the unit in place on a lower floor. The ability to open the window for a bit of fresh air without removing the air conditioner is rare and genuinely useful. The energy readout in the application gave me quick feedback on which modes are worth using. An eco mode with artificial intelligence really does reduce the time I spend fiddling with settings. If you prefer voice control, Amazon Alexa picked up my commands reliably. The remote is simple and does not try to overdo it with tiny buttons I cannot read. Stepping back, I see this as a quiet, efficient window air conditioner for people who want comfort without the usual trade-offs. If you are sensitive to noise, if you work from home, or if you like the idea of a window unit that blends into the background and does not puff out your curtains with leaks, this design makes a difference. If you plan to remove your air conditioner every fall and reinstall it every spring, or if you need very precise vertical airflow, you might feel limited. For me, leaving it in place and letting the inverter handle the day-to-day has been worth the extra effort on day one. I would recommend the Midea 10,000 British Thermal Units U-shaped smart inverter window air conditioner to anyone who values a quiet bedroom, a calmer workspace, and genuinely lower energy use. It is not the fastest brute force cooler I have tried, and the first setup took real patience, but once it is in, the experience feels a step more refined than a traditional window box. I reach for the remote less. I think about noise less. I sleep better. If this video helped, please subscribe to the channel and leave a comment with your questions or your own experience. Thank you for watching.